Hey guys, Taekwondo Twins here. In this video I'm going to cover 3 ways of gripping the sai and some pros and cons of each grip. And I'm also going to give you my take on which one is the grip that I favor the most. The 3 grips are grip number 1, grip number 2, and grip number 3. Now, for grip number 1, this grip works by placing the thumb about 1 centimeter or slightly above the intersection between the shielding prongs and the middle prong, okay? You can also place the finger here, but the sai immediately loses stability. But that's optional. If I was to use the sai for stabs, placing the thumb in this position nullifies the possibility of the sai slipping away in this direction. Grip number 1 would be the grip that a person would use if he was intending to use the sai as a weapon. Why? Because one can perform all of the basic offensive and defensive techniques while all at the same time keeping the fingers safely protected behind the shielding prongs. There are 2 main disadvantages that I can come up with. The first is the fact that the more vigor I put into my strikes, the bigger is the tendency for this sai to slip away from my hand. So I would end up holding it like this and having to constantly bring it back to its original position. So there's that disadvantage. Another disadvantage is the fact that it's just not the best choice of grip if you intend on using the sai to perform flashy tricks and spins and cool techniques. I mean, I can still do techniques like the thumb lock spin horizontal, the thumb lock spin vertical. I can also do the thumb spins like so, reversing the sai into a flip position. But those are basically the essential tricks that you can do with the sai. So that is what brings me to grip number 2, which works by adding an extra finger and placing it between one of the shielding prongs and the middle prong. Now, this grip immediately nullifies the disadvantage of the sai slipping away from the hand, right? Because it keeps it locked in place, providing a much stronger grip. And it immediately allows for the performance of techniques like the backwards finger spin, the forwards finger spin. I can also do finger lock spins like so. I can also do it backwards. And I can even switch from a finger lock spin into a reversed sai position like this, or a flip position of the sai. And while all at the same time, I can still do the spins that I mentioned previously. So a very versatile grip indeed. Now, the main disadvantage of this grip is the fact that this finger is left exposed. So if one was intending to use this grip for fighting, I mean, it can't be used defensively, because if you're fighting against an enemy with a weapon and the weapon comes in this direction and it becomes tangled in this area of the sai, our finger would immediately get chopped off. So it immediately nullifies the pliability of this grip for combat. In this section, I'll be comparing grip number 1 and grip number 2 side by side using the same combo. By this comparison, I intend to show how grip number 2 is more versatile by allowing me to do a bigger variety of spins. I should note that I'm never using thumb lock spins while using grip number 2 like I do using grip number 1. But that is not because grip 2 doesn't allow me. The idea is to show that everything I do while using grip number 1, I can do using grip number 2. As such, with grip 2, I'm just choosing to do other spins for the sake of variety and creativity. This is the reason why I favor it more than grip number 1. Now, thirdly and lastly, there is grip number 3, and this grip works by placing, instead of just one finger between the middle prong and the shielding prongs, you actually place 2 fingers, one between each shielding prong and the middle prong. Now, the only time I use this grip is when I want to abuse techniques such as the finger lock spins, because since now I have 3 fingers holding the sai instead of just 2 when I do the finger lock spins, right? Now I have 3 fingers, which actually allows me to have a much stronger grip on the sai, and as a consequence, I'm able to put more power into my spins and increase the speed of my spins. So this is the only time I use this grip. It obviously shares the same disadvantage as the previous grip, which is the exposition, or leaving these 2 fingers exposed. So it's obviously an offensive grip, it's not a defensive grip. And there's also the fact that it's not a grip that allows me to reverse the sai into a flip position, because in order to flip the sai into a flip position, I have to first bring my index finger over the middle prong, and only then can I switch it to a flip position. So there is that disadvantage. So guys, this covers it when it comes to the 3 ways of gripping the sai. Obviously, I favor the grip number 2 because it's the one that allows me to perform all of the cool tricks and techniques, because I don't use martial arts for fighting. I see martial arts as a way to express artistically and for fitness purposes, obviously. So grip number 2 is the one that I use the most.